That's still a scary thing, though. You can actually stream onto Twitter, onto not a Twitter account, what do they call it? I've forgotten. Twitch account. Yeah. I don't think I'd like live people watching this at recording. Yes. I think last week there was no Dante because Dante was at spent time away. Right, let's get to the start of this, because I think you only did one evening in the end. And it started off with Renata and Dante, who was unfortunately busy, to meet with Lanza. Was it? What's her name? Savina Lanza. Yeah, downtown at the ferry house. Mr. Felix got a phone call from your guy, who basically said you had someone called the Emperor Norton calling you.
Yeah.
Yeah, famous guy.
Unfortunately, no sort of directional. There's no means of contacting him, and he didn't leave any sort of "I'm here" type messages or anything.
No.
So all I can do is wait for him to call back.
He's very vague. I think Philip had a meeting with someone. I won't say out who it was with.
It's not important.
Oh, you don't mind them?
I mean, no one needs to know.
Yeah. You know that evening that Pierre was schooled by Marchese, as he was doing what he was supposed to do. Renata drowns off the head of the Hokata, Sylvina, by not trusting her, and it got a very frosty meeting, if I remember rightly, because she had to walk in the ferry building. I can't remember what she said. Yeah, she basically knows what you are. Said the Marchese apologised for his behaviour the evening before, the one where he and her nearly came to blows. That's not the evening before, the meet and greet. Yeah. Your Uncle Marco backed down. You had Felix had the call again, confirming that Emperor N had called yet again very confused. Didn't leave any way of contacting him back. One event that didn't occur, and that's a fact. I might actually run that quickly at the start, because that can occur. So I'll push that one out, and we'll go back in time with Dante and that one. You had, Renata had a call from the Major. You also had a call from Theodore, who said, or Conley Charles, who said to meet you at something called the Legion of Honor, which is actually a garden, of which you all didn't go except William and Philip, in which he gloated about the fact that he was going to, was it have a go at you or kill you sort of thing, and was a little bit how do you say, annoyed that not everybody turned up. Mentioned the fact about it again, emphasised the position that he has a position within the city. And
what position is that?
He has status in the ear of the Prince Pro Temple.
Okay.
As I think that's the second time someone's mentioned this fact. He's got his feet under the table. And I think that was it. I think there was a lot of, we're not going to go anywhere near this guy. Renata...
Yeah, we all freaked out over the location as well, because we realised that it was in the middle of the golfing.
It's middle of the park. It is. It's
and it was out the way, and it was a bit.
Yeah. You sent the handbag to, was it to Lanza, and there was nothing else on top of that. No, there isn't. All the rest is. Yeah, that's all that happened. There was a lot of talking, lots of working out, lots of paranoia about what the comet was it Charles was going to do. Lots of worry about Theodore, the same chap, if I remember rightly. Was it I think yourself and William are always worried about the guy, because you know what he is. I think you told everybody what happened to him, if I remember rightly, that you betrayed him to the Sabbat Inquisition in Cairo, along with one of his companions.
That's such an interesting sentence, to get Sabbat and Inquisition and betrayal in the same word, in the same sentence.
Yeah, there's this.
It solved a problem at the time.
Yeah.
Yes, at the time. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's slowed down.
Oh, I forgot to mention, they also said he escaped straight after. The Inquisition themselves lost it. And it wasn't the Inquisition, it's the Sabbat version of it. All I can say, has an interesting time with what was then the Black Hand. You don't even know if it exists anymore, considering that the Gehenna War has started.
That's a really scary point. Either they were ridiculously foolish to let him go, or he's an awful lot better than you think he is.
Column 2 would be my guess.
Yeah, and we started off the evening because we had a number of things I wanted to do before the next game. First thing you discover is on the notes that the Marchese has gone home. Renata wakes up to, was it 8 puttanescas in her hotel room. I think you're moving into your house that evening, aren't you?
That is frightening.
Yeah, your house is ready. Your servant will do all the billeting of the was it the Marchese. One you don't need to know about, because all you'll know is that William will say he's going somewhere, and that will be the last you'll see him for the evening.
Okay, Renato will trust his judgment that he's going to do something interesting.
And if I remember rightly, Felix finds something on his bulletin board, if I remember rightly. And that's all I'll say. And that's it. Yep, that's it. There's nothing more that happened on those. I'll just do Dante's thing quickly.
And Renato sent 2 of the puttanescas to Dante.
That's it. I forgot about that one. 2 have gone. It said it sounds you've done very little, but I think you had done quite a lot in the end. It just sounds it always sounds a lot less than it's actually there. Right, so it is the next evening. Oh, they also mentioned the fact, as far as you, Renata, that that you don't have a driving license at the moment, it might get. I suddenly thought that's a bit silly. You would have probably a Florida license, and you should be able to use that out of state.
Yeah.
It suddenly clicked that licenses can go.
I didn't think of it either, to be honest.
No, I suddenly thought we're not talking foreign countries here. So yes, the only thing is when you pull up, it will just cause a bit of thing that you have a Florida license and Californian plates sort of thing. Yeah, but the cars will have Californian plates on them. I should have looked up those laws. I'll ask Bino next time if you can do that.
Well, I assume you could drive wherever it was you have a license.
Yeah, I bet that test the difference between the states would not surprise me. Right, I'm going to nick Dante quickly because I want to just do this scene from last week, because it'll still have relevance. So I'm going to nick you, was it Dylan, for a short while?
Yeah, fine, mate.
Right, so I'll talk among yourselves, guys, and I'll be with you back. Right, during your hospital visit, last week, you get a phone call. There it is.
Oh, do I know the number?
No, the number is, you do not know the number, but it's actually through the hospital, so you will not see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go and pick it up.
A familiar voice with a very heavy French accent says, Dante, I assume, and if it's not, shame. I would watch your back, as such an impotent little peasant needs to be taught a lesson. I aim to teach you a lesson, though I'll keep you guessing when. Good night, Dante. I hope your night goes well. Click. And that's it. That's all you get. And there will be, if you try to trace the number, they can't trace the number. It has no call. It's untraceable. Right, so that's before. Right, you would have got up the evening, and strangely, you have no messages. Other than Renata will tell you you've got 2 puttanescas on your way. Oh, and your servant would have said that the Marchese's left, has gone home. Okay?
Well.
Right, I'll put you back until then. We'll get back and see what these guys are up to.
That might allow you further liberty, and obviously he's going to be well chuffed on that score. Now, I'd maybe look into that to start with, and then see how, like you said, how the Conte actually reacts. Because when he finds out he's gone, at the moment he's still thinking. I mean, that's the other thing. You go on the offensive. Whatever that looks like, but the point is, he at the moment feels that your sire is still about. Now he might have feelers, he might soon discover that, but if you wanted to take some sort of initiative, now what I would have thought, or at least very soon. But it depends what you want to do, because obviously I wasn't there when obviously whatever you did to betray the guy, or whatever he did to you for you to betray him, whatever that is, you've got to decide whether what you're going to do about it, because he's not going to let go. He's sought you out. He's come halfway around the world, and across 20 years, to sit in your lap, pardon the expression, and he's not going to go away.
He actually came 200 miles to as it disappear.
Oh, the thing is, he's not going to hold off, is he? He's just looking for an opportunity. So you've got to decide what you're going to do about that. I mean, do you think he could be placated? You know, let's throw a wild one in. Is that something that you could pay him, that would change his view of you?
No, he's vengeful.
Hello? Still there?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, right. So, all right, that's a flat no then.
No, it's gone beyond the point where a suitcase full of cash will fix it.
Well, it might be. Cash is never really going to solve anything, but do you know if he's looking for or wants something other than your head on a platter? Because if you, I mean, that's just one avenue then, isn't it?
It's really worth considering, because even if we do get him something he wants, he will just stab us in the back.
But I'll just have to put in here, I assume that you guys are going to meet at the start of the evening. And where? The only one that won't be there will be William. The rest of you.
We could say the hotel that we've used, not the one that we've been staying in, but the one that we've been using.
Yeah. Oh, the Hilton Club one. Yes, that one. I know that one. Means that you can legitimately have a word and everybody meets up before the evening starts. It just makes sense. Just carry on if you do that and just have your discussion. Sorry about that, I just want to make sure.
Is Dante joining us?
Will be.
Yeah.
How was the evening at the hospital?
No, I'll be there today.
You're in the meeting now, though.
Are you going to go to the meeting with these guys, was it, Dante?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Renato will ask you how did it go at the hospital and if you've had a good day.
I got a lovely phone call from our friend.
A lovely phone call.
Yeah. Theodore threatened me and said he's going to teach me a lesson, but he's going to keep me guessing when.
So, I suppose the thing is, what did he threaten you? Obviously with death or with...
No, he just said he was going to teach me a lesson and he's going to keep me guessing as to when.
So he's just trying to set fear, isn't he, effectively?
He's like a cat with a mouse. He's going to try and play with us first. I mean, ideally, I think the plan of hitting him in the face so hard that he doesn't do it is probably...
But I would also... How's this for another option? Obviously, his childer is somebody that he really, obviously, likes, wants. That childer has value to him. So you either, if you're going to be, if you want to go on the offensive, you either kidnap or take the childer out.
Hey, do you think it's likely that the child hates their sire at all?
Well,
it's pretty common.
And it's possible, isn't it, that there is actually an advantage to be had by, apart from anything else, putting a wedge in front of that might make him think twice in terms of not be quite as controlling or as controlled, and therefore he's going to make mistakes if he's not thinking properly. And obviously then that's also one less enemy to actually have to deal with. So I think
slightly.
You can mend it any way you
Instead
like.
of, like putting a bag over their head and shoving them into the car. Why don't, I mean, I don't know who's the best of us to do this, but why don't we make it more a sort of turning them into a double agent type of thing?
But then you've got to offer them, you've got to offer that children something. Don't forget as well, if the Conte can, well, the point is the children, how good is the children in masking a potential issue? Because if the Conte is much better at sussing out what's going on with their children, then the likelihood is it's not going to work, really, is it? Because what you then might have is a double agent.
That question applies to everything we could do to some extent.
Except removing the children quickly and absolutely, in the sense that break that link straight away. Whether you're sending them to Canada or to final death or however you want to deal with that, I still feel there's possibly something. If you get that person and you then say, how about we help you out of here and you spill the beans on him a little. You tell us some things that we could make use of, and then we'll make sure, we place you somewhere where you can live your life out, so to speak, live your undead life out. How much collateral could you get from that?
Sorry, Dave, I'm a bit confused by your question.
Okay, go on.
So, I mean, what are you asking exactly?
Right, to me...
Sorry, are you asking what could we expect to get out of a child, or are you asking how confident would we be in convincing?
Both. Because essentially, you either set your skull up to remove them as in dead, as in completely out of it, or you look at the possibility that obviously you can make a turncoat of that childer and therefore gain something, and therefore you don't have to kill it. You can, because he's going to be on our side, not his fire side.
Well, we would have to do the second option anyway. He's protected by the traditions, right?
In relation
I
to.
don't think that, like, shoving them into the bag.
Well, what I meant is, if Comte could reasonably argue we killed the child, they'll get the prince and his, fuck, what are they called again, hounds involved.
But so that politically then, don't forget, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm holding my own thing here, not House Hikata, but essentially, I don't recognise him as prince. He's just some bod trying to sit on a pile, and hopefully he's going to make that pile a bit bigger. At the end of the day, he's a prince in waiting maybe, but he's not got the full power base, and he's obviously...
I wouldn't challenge him with a war.
Oh, I'm not going to challenge him,
Also,
but the point is I'm not going to recognise him.
Well, our political aid came from Marchese, who isn't here, so...
But have you as a house recognised him as prince in waiting, or are you just being an independent and basically saying, yeah, we'll coexist? Because I think it was more the latter than the former.
If we run off and murder a member of the Camarilla, what stance do you think he's going to take?
To be honest, I'm not a proponent of murdering the childer. I think there's something to be had from, if you like, it's a bigger victory to actually put a wedge in there, take the childer away, and basically taunt him with the fact that he's doing his own thing somewhere in the world.
Okay, so we're agreed on doing that then?
Before, as you're doing this, Renata's phone calls. Do you want to do this separately, Renata? Oh, you want to walk? Do you want to walk out the room while this?
Yeah, I'll just say I'll look at it if you excuse me.
Yeah. Right. If anybody's listening or doing anything, please tell me now before I disappear.
No, we're just having a good old chat about
Excellent.
potentials and possibilities.
That's all right. That's what I wanted to know. Right.
Because the thing for me is,
Oh, right. A familiar voice at the end of the phone. Renata, this is Benedict. Can we speak in the lobby of the Hilton San Francisco Union Square on Farrell Street at 11 p.m? We need to talk.
What time is it now?
It's about 9:10. You've got a couple of hours.
Where am I at the moment?
You're in walking distance.
Yeah, do you know what, Renata, this is really unusual for her to do, but Renata is going to just go now.
Okay, I'll put you back into the main chat.
But she's not going back to the group, she's just going to
Yeah.
send a text to Dante to say I've got to go for a meeting.
Bear with me here. Let me. Right. Right, I'll also type in the role playing to say I'll be away for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying you're not coming back until. Actually, no, I'll leave it at that. Right. Right. Alright. So they know that I haven't disappeared on them. That's alright. Right, we'll do this quickly. We can do this. You walk to the hotel at appointed time, or do you drive?
Renata, because she has a driving license, would probably take the shiny black Jag.
So you've driven to the house.
I've been itching to try that for ages.
Yeah. Yeah, you'll find somewhere to do. They'll even park the car if you wanted to, valet parking. You go into the lobby. You seem to see most of the hotels around here, and you see the Major, larger than life in his usual tuxedo and tie. He plays the part well. You know, as in the James Bond sort of part, except he doesn't drink or smoke.
Does he not smoke? I thought he smoked.
Oh, he does, doesn't he? Yes.
He does, yeah.
He's true. It's one of his own habits. I think I did. Yeah, he smokes, but he does it. Yeah.
Yeah, Renata is. Well, he's probably one of the few vampires who doesn't find Renata smoking repulsive.
Yeah, he sort of. You find him in the lobby at some empty. He sort of gets up and guides you towards a set of empty seats.
Yeah.
And sits down, basically facing you for a while. And he says, Renata, sorry I was out of contact last few days, as I thought it was better to lay low with your Uncle Marco around. I know he... Yeah.
Yeah, he's disappeared now.
Oh, I know he has.
Back to Bennett. Oh, did he catch you? Is that what
Yeah,
happened?
yeah, we met. He certainly knows about us and has for a long while. As you said, he's already had a word with me. And
I'm sorry. Well, at least you made it out of the conversation.
this is true. The only thing he says is
He
not
likes
to.
you, really.
Yeah, I'm still walking. He said not to drag you into my world. If I do, he will, how you say, kill me.
Right. So what does he mean by dragging you into your world?
You know what I do.
caused enough-
You know what I do. As in, I sort of clean messes up and work for whoever. I think that's what he means. That you don't get dragged into my trade, as you.
I do think it's adorable the way that he thinks that.
Yeah, he seems to have. He seems to care for you a lot. And the Uncle Marco. It's very gratifying that, as you said, he didn't kill me. So was it?
That's why we didn't tell him for so long. At least he's had time to get used to it.
Yep. Just to let you know, I've cleared my diary, so I can stay here as long as you need. I'm not leaving you here with the policeman around. As in
To be
the.
honest, it's not the policeman I'm worried about. Nata will have a quick look around the hotel.
As you look, there is a familiar woman walking in your direction. One would, I remember, short hair. You saw at a certain meeting who broke the necks of certain gentlemen, and she is walking in your direction.
Has she seen?
Oh, has she seen you?
Major? Has she seen the major?
Oh yeah. You're both sitting together, so she certainly has.
Oh, okay.
She sort of smiles like a predator. What such a pretty sight. Two lovers holding hands. Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you, but I've been tasked by the Marchese Leonardo to watch you both. She sort of leans forward. So be careful what you do, as I will be always watching. It brings back such nice memories. I wish you a good night. And walks off. And the major looks. He looks at you and said, "Who's that?"
Is it the lady who's the assassin?
Yes, the Nagaria.
Yeah, Renato would say that's a Nagaria and my uncle's boy. I don't quite know why she's been tasked to keep an eye on it. I assume it's supposed to be helpful, but she's just not really a people person.
No, she should have killed someone. Oh, the major said, "Okay, I assume you have somewhere to stay in the city already. Do you want me to stay?"
Arthur will just write down the address for him and pass it to him, so you'll find the Puttanescos should be already in place.
Would you like me to accompany you tonight?
I can introduce you to the others if you wish.
It might be an idea, so that I don't come as an nasty surprise.
Yeah, if I introduce you as my security consultant, I would rather that they didn't know the person nature.
No, that's fine.
It's probably safer for you as well.
With yep. So you go back So that'll be
head of security at the house, and
yeah.
Renata will frame it as that she had a feeling that her uncle was going to leave, but she didn't realise it would be this soon.
Mhm.
Because we realised who Conte Charles really is, she got twitchy and
It's lucky that the major's here.
yeah, basically that she met Smythe in Cairo, she knows that he's competent, and
Oh yes, certainly is.
she's going to be keeping an eye on security in particular
Yep.
around the house,
He will do that.
whenever needed, basically.
Yeah, so you're going to be turned back to the other guys, so it'd be about half an hour.
If he could possibly not wear the tux and just wear a suit instead, that would be great.
He looks a little hurt by this.
It's not the Riviera, darling.
If he's got it on now, he's not going to change tonight.
Oh, fair enough.
Yep, so yeah, you wander back. Right, I'll take you back onto the main thing. You're going to be, as you go through, get into the here, one of the Puttanescas will drag you aside and sort of scold you for the fact that you left without taking one of them. He looks a little, was it perturbed in so much he was ordered to look after you. If you keep disappearing like this, how the hell are they going to look after you? And he also point out that what they saw was that they don't like the price of failure, so if you die, they die, sort of thing.
Yeah, Renata will apologise. She's not used to being the subject of close protection. She's got very used to doing her own thing.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Oh, it's alright, I've got a dog here who wants to fuss, so I'll take you back. Okay. Right, guys.
Graveyard with some kind of spiritual site up and guess, but that'll take too long, and frankly, someone's probably already done it.
Is one of these spirits likely to be hanging around him? Because I'm pretty sure with the attitude that he's got, he's going to have removed the odd human in his time.
Well, they're not generally going to hang around us, and so they're probably not going to be around him when we're around.
Do ghosts come from like traumatic death, or can it be any sort of thing?
Theoretically anything. It's usually fairly dramatic.
I'll butt into here. About after half an hour, Renata appears back again. As she's walked in, she is accosted by one of the Puttanescas, which you gather is sort of in Italian. Well, sort of, she's being told off by him for some reason, and she's accompanied by a gentleman who has a cigarette in his hand, who is dressed much as James Bond would be, down to the tux, the hairstyle as in short, bow tie, and that general was it sort of look that James Bond has, especially the way he holds the cigarette, sort of thing.
Okay.
Philip is going to stare at Renata until she provides an explanation.
Andy, what was the Puttanesca saying? I speak Italian.
He's basically telling her not to go do what she just did, disappear without one of them being with her. Oh, and you would have got that they know the price of failure, as in if they fail and she gets killed, they get killed. Oh. Yep. Anyway, I'll leave it to you guys. Are you going to say anything, Becky?
Oh yeah, sorry. I was typing. My apologies for ducking out earlier. If I take a look at the bar, is it busy?
No, it's not overly busy.
Okay. I had to meet contact of mine. Gentlemen, this is Major Smudge. He will be providing security, primarily around the house, but he's a security specialist who I met in Cairo, and given the problems we've been having, particularly my very serious concerns about individuals, I think would work for me.
Is he one of your cousins or a member of the help?
Oh, he's not my cousin.
Just to clarify, Becky, Philip's trying to ask if he's a vampire or not.
Yeah.
Oh, right, oh, sorry. Yes, he's a vampire. I will answer that.
He says, "Good evening, gentlemen. Nice to make your acquaintance."
I'll nod.
Yeah, I'll nod as well.
He's not one of my computers, so he's definitely not Italian.
Let's see. Just want to check something.
My apologies. I wasn't expecting the major to write the
That's the one thing.
Sorry, I left. Have we got a solution or approach?
Ghosts?
So, on the ghost thought, yeah, if they're more likely to be made from traumatic deaths, I work in a hospital with access to the morgue. Would that narrow down the search from a graveyard to freshly killed people?
Maybe. It sort of depends on the okay, so in this context, I'm not trying to find the ghost per se, I'm trying to find what's fetching them to this existence. I guess if they had any personal items on them when they were in the morgue, that's more or less what we're looking for.
In there somewhere.
I know what you're doing.
What's this cunning plan with the hatch?
We summon a ghost, tell them to follow the child, learn more about the child, and then turn the child into a double agent, was my understanding. Did I get that right, Felix?
Well, I think not quite. I would say yes, we're trying to turn the children on against his sire with the idea of, because I don't think anyone, I think you'd be all on to actually keep that secret and have the demeanour and all the other things that will have to go along with keeping something from your sire. I think that's too much to ask. I think what we're trying to do is to find out by a bit of investigation whether we could effectively have a meeting with the children on its own, or find a point to work out whether the children is actually doesn't want to be there and it would be quite happy, shall we say, to be aided in removing itself, and in the bargain might actually say some things that might help us as to situational things or whatever. But we need to do some reconnaissance, if you like, to find out what potential the childer is, and at the very least, if nothing else, just remove it. And I don't mean kill, but I mean stick it on a boat and send it somewhere. Even if it won't help us, it would be better that it's not with him. If nothing else, it makes a statement that actually even the thing that's closest to him can be removed. In which case, you're not then at his beck and call. He's got to rethink then just what your potential is. because you've actually managed to do something right under his nose. So it's yes, we could gain quite a bit out of the childer, if nothing else, as I was mentioning to Philip while you were out, was the fact that, you know, the Contes spent 20 years coming back to you. Well, imagine what that childer might do if it really didn't like its sire. You're potentially getting an ally and a friend, or somebody else who might actually take him out at some point. So there's lots to be had and lots of benefits. But the big issue is showing him he can't swagger around and say stupid little things like, I'm going to threaten you, but, you know, I'm going to leave it up to when I want to do that. All that crap. I think you need to make that statement to basically go, well, two can play at that, or 5 of us against 1 can play that game. And if you don't like it, then, you know, grow up. Give him something to think about. Because at the end of the day, all he's going to do is just basically roll up, say nasty things, and hope to get at you at some point. He could spend 10 years doing that, just having a fun game, trying to make you think twice, have new mages into. He could have you wrapped around his finger just on the premise that he might do something. You could spend a lot of money, time, effort, get lots of people involved, and he's playing with you. So I'd play back. Best form of defence?
Okay, so yeah, that's why we're going to the walk.
So
I mean, it would be easier if I only took 1 or 2 of you in, rather than everyone.
I mean, despite the fact that
Sorry, Renato, I just need to double check. Do you know how to sense fetters?
Holy little tinker.
You're looking for the Auspex, for the Oblivion ability, I think, the Binding Fetter?
No, I have Ashes to Ashes, Fatal Prediction, Touch of Oblivion, and under Auspex I have Sensitivity and Premonition.
Okay, so I think it's just me then. Yeah, and an excuse, but... sorry Dante, but you still bring around relatives to identify bodies, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I can just say I'm there to do that.
Yeah, I mean, if we could time it while I'm on shift, or we just go and try and get you in that way.
Well, you're the doctor, not me.
I think if we time it when I'm on shift, it's going to take too long. So if
if you time it while you're on shift, then that's the easiest way of actually gaining access, isn't it?
Yeah. How much of a time crunch are we on?
Well, that was just one avenue. We obviously Philip came up with the idea that by actually having a ghost, we're all looking at this aspect of investigating, trying to find out things. So that was just one avenue, good old surveillance, and basically trying to follow the Childer not in spiritual ways, but in other ways, is just another way of dealing with it. We were hoping to try and do whichever way is applicable to each of our skills, and actually see what we come up with as a group in each of these different ways, and hopefully we can do something fairly sharpish. Like I said,
unfortunately we don't have the sewer rat here. So
No.
can't exactly follow him ourselves.
No, but do we not know that? And is the sewer rat gone for too long? The point is, somebody came to that soiree, didn't they? Did anyone else other than Dante actually speak to them?
No. What's Tom's character's name?
William.
Oh, William.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mr. McLeod.
I think William spoke to him.
Because they had a huddle for a while, didn't they?
Yeah.
The point is, if oh, that's a shame then, because then I think from that's where it worked out that they were probably the only other Nosferatu about. Was the general idea? But weren't they sort of attached to some sort of university down by, is it San Jose, or just a bit further down the peninsula? I seem to remember. I'm just trying to think if there's anyone that could help us with the stealth aspect.
I've just written something on the role-playing channel.
Alright. Although Philip does give a look towards Renata, sort of isn't he meant to ask first?
He sort of he disappears out of the room.
Can't say I'm not curious.
Anyway. So,
when you say gets up fast, I mean, how fast is fast?
He literally gets not superhuman fast. He sits, gets up, and goes. He's walking fast, purposeful.
was it in clear reaction to anything we said?
No, no, not as. You think it's something you heard? You heard it. Weird. Yes. After about a few minutes, he is sort of comes flying backwards through the room onto his arse.
What? Major Smythe pitched back into the room.
On his arse.
Oh fuck.
Sorry, Andy, as in he's thrown back into a room?
More like pushed. Someone's pushed him and overbalanced him, caught him by surprise.
Yeah, I'm going to interpose myself. So after he comes back through the thing, I take it he's come through the doorway.
It came backwards through the doorway of the bar, and sort of now is sort of getting up, looking a bit sheepish.
Then I'm going to move as quickly as I can straight into the doorway, and then stand wherever the doorway, and look through. And who's there?
I'll go and stand close to Renata.
Yeah, you see nothing. Well, he's sort of dusting himself off, and he sort of looks, And he says you do know the Nagaria was listening to this. I know she's postal watchers, but not that closely.
Are we sure she's working for my uncle?
I mean, if she's stupid enough to double cross the
Yeah, but
Marchese, then
Don't forget she's Hecata, isn't she? And what I mean by that is she has potentially other loyalties.
Well, I mean, as long as she doesn't tell the comps about the plan, there isn't really a whole lot risk. That immediately leaves us a problem.
Was there any form of relationship between Sabina and Conte Charles?
Both part of the same court.
Hmm. The Major sort of lights a cigarette, looks a bit perturbed.
You alright?
Just something about us, the way she acts is just familiar. And the way she's arrogant, and the German accent.
You've met her before?
No, I met her type before. In Berlin. Usually the other side of the wall.
Care to be more specific?
Her actions remind me in the way she talked of the Stasi. Of the Stasi.
Apologies, Miss Five, I'm a bit confused with what you're trying to get at.
Wow. The way she acts, arrogant. How you say, it tries to get under your skin.
Yeah, she was a bit funny at the party as well, wasn't she? She was very, she stood in a corner and was, yeah, but she didn't just watch, she wasn't passive watching, she was intimidating. She wasn't trying to be passive. Because I went to talk to her, and she was quite, even for a vampire, she was quite offish. But essentially as well, something, well, it's just been proved really. She's obviously exceptionally strong as well. She's not. The way she broke those people's necks in the warehouse and the speed with which she did it, she's obviously got some physical attributes, supernatural ones. Well, he's just had a physical view of what's happened. He's probably as quick as probably she is, but he's obviously not as strong as she is.
Or I was taken by surprise by her, he says.
Renata will describe the neck hold that she did.
Yep. She, yeah, that sounds like. Very.
Does her being Stasi mean anything specific?
It means she's a total bastard. A master's, I say, he says, masters at watching people, getting people to do things. What's it? How do you say? It's hard to describe. You do know what they did.
Blackmail, extort.
Yeah. Exactly.
Create fear.
So
Yes.
So a Nosferatu, basically.
By the way, she hasn't gone away. She's not in the room, but she's actually probably listening to this.
She's.
Allow me, Renata gets up and walks out the door.
Yeah.
Is she there?
You can't see her.
Renata will just say, do you wish to speak to me again?
You get no answer. You just get someone will say, just looks at you and say, pardon?
Renata will just motion towards her phone.
Oh, the guy goes here. But still, she definitely isn't there, as far as you can see.
Can I use Sense the Unseen to check?
She's definitely not there.
I'll go back. No, she's bolted.
Well, do you know how far she's gone? Because I don't think she'll go far.
It would be me that she'll be following.
Then this particular place that we're in is obviously too public. So we need to go somewhere else if we're going to discuss anything further.
We can go back to my house.
Or Renata now has her own house, which she hasn't quite seen yet.
I don't mind if we go back to Dante's. It's fine.
Okay, yep. Yeah, and Dante now has two Puttanescas following him.
I'll just make Jamie aware.
Yeah, I would. Yep. Did you take the Puttanescas along, or did you leave them in the room? Considering there would be 6 of them, they would stand out like a sore thumb in a place like this. Mm-hmm.
2 with Dante, I assume Dante's hand.
And 2 yourself.
Yeah, I've already got
2.
some.
You've already got some.
Are these guys human?
Oh yeah.
Ghouls.
Oh yeah, they're human.
So they're not even ghouls.
No. It's
So
a little.
they've got a very limited capacity to deal with another vampire that wants to get in and out.
True, but it's the whole illusion of power
Mm.
Well, I think you've had that illusion smashed because they've taken your brand new major and she's just chucked him across the room just like he was nothing. In your in your presence, shall we say? So that's a message, isn't it? So we also need to find out what's her bag, why she's that bothered. She shouldn't be, should she?
Well, not if my uncle's paying the wage.
So that could be a nice little telephone call, actually, to find out what contract he has with her.
Yeah.
Whether he's still got a contract with her. Because
Don't
obviously,
worry, that's it. My to-do list.
right? Because if well, the other thing is, you
If she's
see,
going to be a hindrance rather than a help, then she's got to come into line, right?
okay, but you'll have to make her by the sounds of it.
Oh, I can be incredibly gratish.
Then I think if we're going to do anything more, we need to be somewhere else, make proper plans and discuss.
Yeah, we're moving to Darkhouse. If he doesn't mind.
No, it's fine.
The Major will excuse himself. He's going to have a sort of wonder.
Okay, I'm not going to question
and he'll see you back at the house later in the morning, or at dawn.
I'm going to offer, does he need a hand?
No, he doesn't. He said, no, I'll be fine.
Okay.
He may want to hunt, so if...
Well, it just...
no, he'll go by himself.
No, it's fine. He's just obviously had a bit of a lesson from her.
He doesn't seem overly perturbed by it. If anything, he seems to take it in his stride.
Very interesting.
And he sort of wanders off, was it almost brash and arrogant, as a certain agent would have done after such a fall. You could almost imagine him going to the bar and asking for was it stirred, not shaken?
But please tell me he's a Malkavian. Renata. Isn't he? No, it's
What
very
is
interesting.
He's not mad.
Touched is the way I would necessarily call them mad. That's maybe not a good thing to do. Oh, I'm certainly not doing that at all. But I'm just trying to get the whole.
Whether the character is based off mad or...
Well, I am trying to get my head round the old James Bond thing. Because I don't ever remember James Bond being thrown through a door. Not like that, anyway. And I'd be pretty pissed if that had happened to me. Well, it's just obviously interesting. Anyway, but yeah, we need to be somewhere else then.
Yeah, go back to mine.
Now, how are you doing that? Directly or indirectly?
Probably go indirectly. Safest option.
You're watching for people following, basically.
Put
Yeah.
off, get loyal.
Yeah. You would have to go in a number of cars or walk. Because Renata's got hers, and
3. I've got the 2 Land Rovers as well.
are you gonna ask them to be brought?
Yeah, bring all the cars around.
Yeah.
I decided we needed some wheels, so we now have 2 Range Rovers and Renata's car was a sports car to Jack. It's a passenger.
Where have you got them hidden? Where do you garage them?
Oh, I bought a house here.
So you keep them in the
decided I was
house?
staying for a while.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really like New Orleans, so I decided that San Francisco is a much better place for me. It's more interesting. For better or worse.
I'm going to say it's going to get very interesting. Right. Okay.
Yep.
What I'm going to do is I'll meet you. It's the same house that I've been to before.
Yeah.
Location.
Yeah.
Right. Give me about 10 minutes, and I'll go outside and hang around the. Which entrance are you going to leave by?
I'm going to leave by the front because I'm being watched, so I might as well just.
Okay. Give us 10 minutes, and then I'll see if I can get myself into a position to see if there's anyone really particularly interested, and I'll follow on later. Right, I'll disappear.
Philip, Dante, do you want to
I'm assuming I would have come in my car, so I'll
Yeah.
drive back.
Yep, with your two, was it Putinescas?
Yeah, I'll drive me and my friends back.
And where, who does Philip go in? Do you go in a car separately, or do you join the other guys?
Guess I'll join the others.
Yeah, Renata's probably the best too. Yep. Right, you basically know where it is. You take a circumvented route. I assume you don't take the same routes to the house. Yeah.
No, Renata wants to give her car a good run.
Straight road that's clear so she can speed.
Yeah. There are no cameras in America, so you might get away with it. Just be careful you don't get pulled up.
Makes sense, it's fine.
Yeah, and you guys will get back with little and no issues. Right, we'll deal with Felix separately. Right. Right, I'll move you down to the individual. Yeah, as you stay there, you smell a familiar cigarette.
The inspector is about.
No, it's actually the one, in the guy in the suit.
Oh, the Smeek.
Yeah. No, the Major.
Oh, right, okay.
He sort of says, "You had the same idea as me, didn't you?"
I definitely did.
I'm going to find her and see what her beef is. Would you know any reason why?
I don't understand her attitude, particularly for somebody who's obviously gaining something by being. She was obviously mopping up for the Marchese and doing jobs. Now I don't know the overall contractual relationship that's that involved, but she, although it seemed to be prickly, she seemed to be on his side, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand. You know why she's here, to watch me and Renata.
Well, she's going a very funny way about it.
I totally agree. All I asked her was what she was doing here and why she was listening. And got very, as you said, prickly.
Well, you've probably found out, but just so you're aware, she's definitely got potence. I saw her break the necks of the three guys. It wouldn't surprise me she's got celerity as well. So you need to be quite on your guard, I think. So I don't think she's probably taking it out. I think you were an unfortunate statement. As opposed to you being the target of anything. She was basically just saying to Renata, no matter what you do, I'll be watching you. And you unfortunately were just collateral damage.
She, as you said, she's supposed to be watching me too, not trying to throw me around. He sort of smiles.
Well, I mean, obviously we've never met, so I've no idea about what your background is, etc.
I work for SOE and MO5.
Okay.
And the suit is an obsession.
Well, that's fine. Got any problem with that?
No. How are we going to do this? I'll be busy with looking after, Renata. I have sneaking suspicions she will need looking after with a so-called watcher. I still don't understand, as you said, why he gets so vicious.
Well, the other thing as well, is she still working for Marchese? Or is this somehow her own thing? I mean, she is an accountant, so I would like to think that she's not likely to
kill.
She doesn't. Yeah, she she's going around it being very brazen, I think. But until she actually shows she's working for somebody else, I just think she's just very
high-strung.
Well, yeah, and when you look at all this lot, this particular family, they don't seem that highly strung. They seem quite moderate
He sort of
for
laughs.
who they are. And she doesn't seem to be following that idea a lot.
Oh, you mean as? Oh, sorry, you were talking about the Hecata. No, was it when Renata gets really stressed? She's high-strung. He sort of laughs. And I have been at the other end of it too. Anyway, I don't think she's here.
No, well, I was basically, I don't know. I'm one of these that I think you always have to do a sort of measured response, and it needs to be at this stage in the game, like for like. I wouldn't let her get the upper hand.
No, so I think so too. I think I'm going to go back to Renata's home and make sure it's secure when she comes back.
Well, I'd also check your cars regularly.
I believe. Yeah, I think that would be an extremely good idea. Make sure.
Well, the thing is, she's going to be listening, so there are going to be devices to help her do that.
Yeah.
And apart from anything else, I think the Conte is another one that's going to. Well, he doesn't seem unsubtle character.
The Conte.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who's the Conte?
I'll fill him in. Literally, fill him in on the issues.
Yeah.
He needs to know if he's looking after her effectively. And I don't know a great deal. I know that something happened 20 years ago, and there's a Toreador out there that is particularly malevolent, and I think you need to actually get some information out of Renata. You need to get her to tell you
what it is.
Yes, because he's hunting her. So you're not here by chance, and you're not here just because the Marquez has left. So you need to find out an awful lot more about the. Yeah. I think his actual name's Theodore, but the Conte, and I'll reel off his full name, and just basically find out a little bit about why.
Yeah, I actually came here because of the inspector, the policeman.
Well, that's good in a way, because I'd like to see him on a plane, and I don't think there's any. Well, we didn't get a chance to talk to the Marchese in order to find out what Pierre had actually said to him, and whether he was convinced enough. Yeah, well, and I don't know if Renata even knows, but essentially we could do with finding out whether she convinced him to go. But and I'll get my office to send the investigator's report to him. He gives me an email address. I'll get them to send it to my retainer, who can send it to you. And that'll give you the rundown of the inspector, because, quite frankly, he's a bit of a good guy, really. He's just doing a bit of a favour for a politician in Italy. So the idea about getting Pierre was to give him enough information to send him back either to Switzerland or back to Italy.
I appreciate that.
Without him actually creating too much hassle, and obviously we can't get rid of. Well, I don't believe you can get rid of him, because essentially that will just bring more police.
Oh, indeed it would. I concur with that. Anyway, if you excuse me, I do need to visit her. I think I'll go back to Renata's place and get things in motion.
Did they give me an address?
He'll give you a PO box. He said, I'm not au fait with computers, I am afraid. If you send it to there, I'll pick it up. Or even send it with Renata to the house, and I'll read it for you.
Well, I'm happy to send it to you, but I did give her a copy anyway.
I'll ask her for. I'll get the copy.
And then the point is, if the inspector is obviously convinced enough that he needs to be somewhere else, then he'll put the leave on his own. But just make sure that you understand, not only are the San Francisco police watching him, so are the FBI. So be very careful.
It's alright. Interesting. Well, thank you for the warning. And good evening.
Glad to help.
He sort of puts his hand out. Nice to meet you. My name's Benedict.
Felix Mantico.
Nice to meet you. You can call me Benedict.
Great, nice to meet you too.
And he sort of wanders off. Does he lose off? Actually, he doesn't do a disappearing act, strangely.
Well, what I'm going to do is, as soon as they start to come out, I'm going to do a bit of, obviously, watching from one of the local rooftops.
Yeah.
And then see what I can see, and then I'll gently follow them as I've done before. You know, a bit like.
Which car are you going to follow? You're going to follow Dante's or Renata's, because they're going in two separate routes.
Renata's.
Yeah. As you follow, are you following in a car? Following.
I'm going to use both my athletics, parkour and celerity, plus the fact that because I've got obfuscate 1, whenever I stop speeding, I'm invisible.
Yeah, that's fine.
So technically I can hop, do a bit, watch, see what's going on, and then what I'll have to try and determine is the route, because I know the route, I know where they're going.
She's taking
She's taking a bit of a roundabout trip.
Yes, she's also giving the car an exercise.
Okay. I might not be able to keep up with it then, but
yeah.
To be honest, for the first, as long as I can, for the first sort of 5 to 10 minutes, just to see.
Yeah, no. As far as you can see, no one's taking particular interest in her. The only thing you might think is if she keeps speeding like that, she might get a speeding ticket.
I'll warn her later.
Yeah.
But essentially, I'll stay with her like as best I can for 5-10 minutes. Hopefully, the traffic will make that allowance. Once I'm pretty well determined there's actually no one and she speeds off, that's fine. I don't need to follow her again.
No.
I will then go from wherever I end up to Dante's house.
Yeah.
From there.
So you'll arrive some time after.
Yeah, well, that's fine.
Actually, you probably arrive all at the same time by the time these guys have done their. Dante's probably the first one back. Okay, we'll put you back to the other one.
Great.
Channel.
Thank you.
Sorry about that, guys. Now, as you get back to the house, Dante's probably likely the first one to appear. With his, is anybody there?
Yeah.
That's alright. Dante is likely to be the first one to appear with his Putanescas. Your servant will welcome them and he'll arrange get them sorted with their rooms. They'll say they'll bring their luggage tomorrow. And I think Renata will be next, closely followed by, was it Felix? Oh, he's there. And as far as you can tell, no one's followed you.
Yep,
and
that's what I believe.
And once you're in the house, you see it's a lot safer. There is no one to eavesdrop. The major certainly.
I would imagine not.
No, not in San Francisco. If he's got a house in something like Pacific Heights, a lot of those usually on street parking. It's only the bigger houses that would have the garages per se.
Mate, you're in like a little 3-bed.
It's small. Yeah. So yeah, you now have peace and quiet. There'll be no interlopers, was it, that are going to now disturb you. You hope. And there's no, the major's gone. Okay, so it's up to you guys what you want to do now. I think you were planning out how you were going to get at the comedy trials via his childer. I think I left subtle hints on one of your channels.
Yeah, if you want to try, it depends on what you want to do, what you want to do. If you want to try and charm offensive, the guy is an aspiring designer and tailor imperial costumes. I am a designer. I work in a business which is very successful past years. But if we want to try something more aggressive, then that's fine.
The only thing I think about dealing with the childer is the fact that he might definitely want to leave and be happy to do that. But if he's had his head filled in the last 20 years with nothing but benevolence and drawl of how he's going to stick your head on a pike, he might actually not be that enamoured of you, because you don't know what vitriol is poured into this childer's ear.
Well, didn't he say to somebody that commentator has always been sort of very amiable, like
Who said that?
I can't remember who said that bit. Forgive me if I get this wrong, but I had a conversation with the guy that was doing the artwork, the Samich at the party, who'd decided that actually the Conte was behaving in a particularly stressed manner, and he suddenly... That's where I got it from.
Yeah, because I think he decided the Conte was not the person that he thought he was, and I think he's a little bit, he's definitely stressed with you on just quite, his personality. So this guy was potentially looking for a way out. Now, I'm not convinced that somebody of his recent coterie would suddenly, we're in this position and all of a sudden I'm being offered chocolates and flowers, and you just sort of think it's very unsubtle in a way, and it's also difficult to pursue. It's worth keeping in mind that obviously that's another person that we could peel off if we can find out that actually what he says is actually the truth. He just wants to get out, or he wants to swap benefactors, which is something I think he's probably more up for, because obviously I think tying himself in with the Marchese could be quite lucrative, but also I would have thought if he's worked it out, if he swaps boats and suddenly ends up in the arch enemy's camp, then actually the Conte's got is more likely to take it out on him. So I'm sort of very suspicious of why he picked me to have a chat with, and also gave away details that I was quite suspicious of. But that doesn't mean it's not bona fide. I just think us picking somebody like the Childer, and if nothing else, just putting it in a boxcar and sending it to the other side of the US. If that's the only thing we manage to do, then again, it's the message that is sent to the Conte that he actually doesn't have everything his own way, and he's got to actually, you know, we can get right into his close area and make ourselves felt. That's to me is what we're trying to do, just so he stands back a bit and has to rethink things.
Do you want to try and meet up with the bloke again and just see how it goes?
What, with the content?
No, with his
Children. Well, that's partly what we're trying to work out, is if there is a good spot in the week or in the month where he's somewhere else that he can be approached, then that's what we're trying to determine. Is either through spiritual means or on the ground means or however means. Potentially there are other avenues as well. We could actually ascertain. He's only going to speak to us, and maybe not you actually, but maybe somebody who's not quite as intimate with the Conte. That they could actually then sort of say, well, look, we can actually provide you a way out, you know, if you want it, but you know, you sort of got to, we'll do it, you know, if you help us out a little bit, and we'll just see whether that's the problem is, does he go straight back to the Conte and say that's exactly what we've just asked him to do? So we've got to think about how we could give him, I don't know, put a sensor on him or some sort of audio that we could actually find out whether he does go back and blabs his mouth or whether he shuts his mouth.
We could bond him.
Do you think that's viable? Excuse me.
Well, it depends how confident Renata is on feeding him her blood.
Right.
But it's whether he would want that. It's not. Isn't it? Is it? You're either going to ask him to do that, or you're going to make him do that. In which case, is that not actually the only way? I feel it's not the only way, but a way is the fact that you find out whether the children wants to leave, and if you do, then you create some trust in the fact. If you start blood bonding him, that's not going to go down very well, isn't it, with the children? That's not to say you shouldn't do it, but I'm just saying, depending on how you want to do this and what's going to grant the most potential success.
So I'm a bit distracted. I've got a little doggy on my lap. I really want to say something, but I can't. I really want to say something, but I can't. If you know me.
I don't think I'm the best person to do it, to be honest.
I'll give you a subtle hint here. At the moment, you're overthinking things, and you have a way of approaching them already, and that's what all I'll say. I'll approach him legitimately, with no suspicion.
I think we got that point. I think we're just arguing about the why would he listen to us.
Are you involved in some sort of catwalk thing, or some sort of designer's show, or some form of artwork,
Well,
or?
I can be.
Well, that's another way of doing it, isn't it? Instead of looking at what he might, it's sort of like bait a trap, and then arrange for a subtle meeting within that venue, something that he's expected to be at or go to. Something like costumes. He's into costumes, into 18th century costumes. So is there something that you could buy and then put a subtle sort of make a party out of it, and then get him invited, and therefore that gives you some sort of opportunity to talk to him, or somebody else to talk to him, and just see what his thoughts, what he wants to do. I think what you've got to accept as well is
clothing museum of some sort in San Francisco.
Ooh.
It's a what, sorry?
Let me have a look.
I imagine there's a fashion museum in San Francisco somewhere.
Let me have a look.
I could throw a party of some description there. Get them to take some very exclusive pieces out of their archive.
You have your own portfolio too.
Yeah. Well, I can put together a fashion show that will be something that he will not want to miss. It will also, I've pulled this one before, it will also, I will invite every toreador that's Magnifico and half the hexagon as well. It's a good opportunity to show up.
Got it.
Does that mean you're going to put an invite out to the contest? Or just toreadors in general?
It depends on how petty I'm feeling. I mean, I could just not invite him, or I could invite him and see if he turns up.
I think if you don't invite him, he's going to turn up anyway.
Yeah, me too.
And actually, that's a way of.
Olive branching it.
No, well, no. It might snub you because of it, which would be good, because that means he wouldn't be there, as opposed to the children might. In which case, you've put that little. Because if you have him there, it's going to be so difficult. You might as well not bother, because you're not going to get to the childer while he's there. You want to be subtle enough to sort of, I don't know, but by inviting him very openly, you're basically saying, I'm not afraid of you. In which case he might not bother to turn up. In which case that's good.
Yeah. Looks like I've got inventory organised. When do you want it? A couple of days? A week? Well, probably a week or so.
I would give maybe at least a couple of weeks, because then that gives us a chance to try other means of finding what else we can do. So we've got that maybe at the end of this, give ourselves 2 to 3 weeks to see what we can observe and what we can find out by whatever means that actually is.
Yeah. Okay. I will look for a single venue. I assume there's a fashion museum.
There is. It is. It's called the Asian. I would look up the Asian Art Museum. I put in the search Fashion Museum San Francisco, and that's one of the ones that came up. And mention you have a legitimate business too, and there will be art galleries there who would be very happy, especially if you pay money to visit, stage an event, and hotels. If you've got enough money, especially something new, there'll be lots of people. So that's
Well, I mean, I can throw some money at it. I can get billboards and things. So,
that would be much as you did in Chicago, wasn't it?
yeah. Yeah. Okay, leave it with me. I will
Yes.
make it the season.
That would mean you need to talk to. Actually, it's not going to be that difficult to do. Because of a lot of the stuff will be already in Chicago itself, so you don't exactly have to bring it from Italy.
No,
If you really see if you get Annabelle to appear, that would be funny. That would be very funny. If you could get to the travel.
Just on another tack, you know the old adage, I've got it right, the enemy of my friend is the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Is there anyone that you could ask to that party that definitely would like to see his head on the plate?
The Sabbat Inquisition.
Yeah, that's a little bit dangerous.
I've got to be put down as one of the best. Yeah, let's see, was it yeah, what considering what those guys did, no.
That would be another thing that would actually potentially force him slightly in a manipulation not to turn up. But he then might send his childer as part of his sort of flag on his house.
maybe that's something we need to find out then, because if he's been in San Francisco for a while, there is no way that he hasn't made powerful enemies. He's just not the type of person to sit in a deck chair and look at his pretty pictures in his art gallery.
Well, he would.
He'd somebody off, and ultimately, if he's taken territory in San Francisco, whose territory did he take?
So there's some nice questions based on the fact that who else could you get to help out? Who else is going to be happy to see him fall on his arse?
Yeah.
Publicly.
So you're going to yeah, these are a lot of background things which you could do. Enemies.
Yes, probably some stuff for William, I think.
What is his domain? You know,
William and friends, with any luck. Because I don't think the Nosferatu, if they've rubbed any shoulders with him over the years, there's no way on this planet is he ever going to be nice to them in any way. So I bet there's a few. Shall we say there might be help there?
Well, I mean, William is a Nosferatu. He's been my friend for many, many years, and I will not tolerate anyone being disrespectful to him because of his plan. I'm definitely going to take it well. But I know he always says that, oh, I'm Nosferatu, I'm used to it. But it's got to be upsetting on some level, and yeah, you're right, there might be some in that plan that might feel the same.
so back on this one. So in the background things between, as in these, a lot of these will be in the background is in the role-playing channels. Just put in what you do and I'll work out the mechanics of this, because from what I gather you want to do is find out you with the help of a Nosferatu, or find a way of talking to Nosferatu to find out what the committee's doing for the last 20 years essentially. Has he round anybody off? Does he have enemies there, etc.? And did he take someone's domain? That's it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So to investigate.
If he's buddy with the Yieldy warlord, then the likelihood is have to do something to be that buddy. So, as Renata has just said, there's going to be lots of potential enemies out there that maybe, if approached in the right way, might be happy to help. I mean, we don't need them all, but the point is, it's still a good avenue, isn't it, to pursue. There's going to be somebody somewhere who's going to go, yeah, I'll have a piece of that. What do you want me to do?
Would he or wouldn't he? Yes, I'll have to work some things out too myself in the background. Yeah. I like some of the guys, it's so was it Renata is going to start to work the event out? Are you going to have as Chicago, as in the septic won't be in your shop, it'll be either in a gallery or in a museum, depending who will allow you to do it. I had forgotten something. I'll also sort something else out for you too. I forgot your club thing. I knew I'd forget something. So that will keep you busy. Well, you're going to if I remember rightly, with that one you only invited certain people, didn't you, to it, or did you leave it open? I think you left the invitations open on that event, didn't you?
Which one?
The Chicago, yeah, that was open, was it?
Anybody who was
Yeah.
anybody who was able to go. I think I'm going to make this one
Exclusive. This one will be... So it'll be exclusive this time, which means you can actually control who goes there. Yeah. Yep. So you would invite the child. Would you invite? Was it the committee?
Well, you have to invite him.
Yeah. That will keep him, was it, thinking, why are you inviting me?
Yeah, exactly. The whole point is to keep him thinking in the same way he's trying to get in. Well, exactly. He needs to understand that he's trying to get in your head about.
Shall I send him a gift basket?
Well, yeah, why not? The point is, anything that either puts him on guard or puts him off his stride or makes him think twice, you should be thinking of anything and anything that will do that, because he's not going to let you settle, so there's no good in giving him the initiative when actually you could keep him unsettled.
I like it.
Yeah.
Play his game back.
Yeah, and actually what you could do is just to one or two of the big bodies, do a big gold card, your big VIP, you know, thing. So it becomes like, well, I got a gold card. Yeah, you've got the golden ticket, and actually send him one, and actually make a feature of the fact. On that basis, he might like I said, he might snub you anyway.
Yeah.
But you actually don't want him to
You
come.
won't be able to help him so. Yeah.
You think he'll come anyway?
Cool.
Because the thing is, if he turns up, you've sort of done it all for nothing.
I don't know, is it
I mean, look, even if it doesn't work in the way that we think it will against Conte Charles, it'll do me no harm business-wise.
Yeah.
Oh, all right, well, fair enough.
So
There's no.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. So in the background, after this discussion, you got to organise the event. You're going to go and wander off to see if you can find the Nosferatu. Unfortunately, was it for some reason William is not contactable tonight. Likely.
I'll send him a text
Yeah.
just to say whenever you're not doing whatever thing you're doing now,
Yeah.
need some help.
Yep. I think there's not much else you wanted to do in the background other than that.
Well, I'm going to start actually in the nicest possible way. I'm going to start hunting the children. I'm going to start looking at any means of getting hold of it. So I'm going to do sort of try and I need to work out how to get in contact, not contact as in verbal, as in so I can see that the childer, and then I want to map where he goes, what he does, how he does it, who he speaks to. I want to see, and I'm only observing, so I'm not trying to be, definitely trying not to be seen, definitely trying to make sure I can make a map of how what that shoulder does in any given week. So I'm going to stick to it by first find it and then stick to it, and then see what comes of that. And if you look at my character sheet, just to sort of, I've got investigative experience. So
I'm just typing you something here, just in case you hadn't read your notes. It wasn't until afterwards I suddenly realised what a certain person had done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in two minds because it was such an obvious thing to do. But yes,
he did.
But that's where I can start.
Exactly.
And I know where that place is because it was in the square that I went to meet him in.
Actually, to be fair, they're not going to hide it, because the idea of a gallery is it's got to be there. So
yeah,
yes.
But he didn't have to tell me that they were there at the gallery.
No, but he let it slip.
He did. And I just thought that was a bit very indiscreet.
Indiscreet.
Indiscreet, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but it gives me a starting point.
Yeah. I don't think he was thinking right at that point.
Well, no, and if that's something else as a secondary, I'll investigate him as well, because I've got his number. I can actually contact him, and I will do that just to have a proverbial coffee and a little bit of a discussion. Let me assess his mental state. Has he calmed down since I last saw him? Just to keep that point of communication going. Because I said I'd come back to him, so I can just sort of just see how he is, and then we'll go from there. So I'll arrange to meet him, and then I will also separately look at the childer and start to map its where it goes, what it does, how it does it, all the rest.
Oh, definitely. So that's something that will happen in the background. I think after these discussions it gets to a point that it's getting close to dawn, early morning. If you want to do any hunting or anything, do it now, or how do you say, continue, or was it go on back to your havens and sleep for the day on what's happened?
Yeah, I'm gonna skedaddle and try not to get a speeding ticket on my way home.
Yeah, I think someone would have said, was it slow down. You were a bit fast running around. Oh, yes, I need that separately. Okay, so at that point you all will sort of stop this discussion, because this can go on for the whole game. We'll call this part of the night and you guys will go back to your havens. I've got all what you want to do. I'll just write it down properly, and then I'll send it to you guys so we can, just to make sure I've got what you wanted to do, or write it down for me. Okay? So you all disappear back to your respective havens. Are you going to make an arrangement to meet each other next night? Before you start?
Yeah, I don't see why not. Unless anyone's got any objections.
No.
No.
Where? Oh, my club invites come through yet?
No. Not yet.
And also will tell you that she has found a club that we could meet at, but we're just waiting for the membership to
It was the other. It's the, what was it? The San Francisco club, if I remember
it's
right.
one of the business type ones.
Yes. There's one there which was very interesting that you could get into, but the guys couldn't. Yeah, it's even a sports one if you wanted one. Oh, actually, there was one club where you couldn't get into, but the guys could get into. Exclusively male and still male in America, which I thought, how the hell are they getting away with that? I have no idea.
There was a female only one as well.
Yeah. The other one's older, but the one you've chosen I think is very liberal.
Yeah.
And to be fair with what you want to do, you've also got to go through the data what your character wants to do as far as the business side, which you haven't started yet. To be fair, it's only been a week to do that, so as I remember what you wanted to do. And I assume you would have brought all your folio, all your folios. It would be folios, all your designs, etc. Portfolio.
Yeah.
That's it. Portfolio, etc. And you're still keeping the weather eye on your company.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yes, that's going to be. Yeah, Dante's going to have a nasty surprise. You own a company. Actually, you do own it. I don't think the Marchese owns any part of it. I thought he didn't. Yes. Right. So, you guys go to sleep for the day. To be fair, with the Putanescas and various bits and pieces you've done, you never said where you wanted to meet before we do this bit. Where did you want to meet? You're not going to meet in the hotel again. Not after the debacle of the night before. So
No.
the last thing you want is someone pushing, was it the major around again and listening to what you're saying. So you could Dante's or Renata's.
I'm happy for my place to be the meeting spot.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Okay, so that's all sorted. Right. So you sleep through the day with no hassle. You'll wake up in the evening. Everybody's where they should be. Retainers still haven't disappeared. Nothing untoward has happened as far as you can tell. Renata wakes up in her new house with her servants, the Putanescas, who in the day have been sort of making sure that no one disturbed you. They may not be, was it vampires or ghouls, but they're still good at what they do. And I'm gonna first of all take Renata separately. Yeah, I'll take you separately first. I'd rather this is something I want to sort out. Right, so bear with me, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. I'll move everybody. Right, I wanted to do this separately because I want this a bit of a surprise for the other guys. You've woken up your servant. Oh, we'll do the hunger rolls after. I forgot about those. Actually, if I don't do them, I don't do them.
Yeah, I mean, really, it doesn't sort of add or take away much, does it?
No, I'll forget it for tonight. Your servant says, Madam, I have some sad news of Pierre Savorsarov. As she was killed in a car accident on the way to the airport today. It seems a taxi. Yep. It seems a taxi was travelling and was hit by a drunk driver, being pursued by the police. Marchese already knows and he will arrange the return of her body home. You also got a call from the
Is that definitely what happened? Because that's not, that can't be coincidence, surely.
But she said, that's all I know. Pardon. And that's all I've been told. You also had a call from Ewan Dunson, servant, who passed on that Mr. Dunson wants to see you tonight at 11 p.m. prompt at the City Club of San Francisco. The club is expecting you to go, just go to the reception, and you'll be taken to Mr. Dunson. Yeah, no, Ewan.
Is he a relation of Philip Dunson?
Yes, he would have been the same family. As a Giovanni, you know that Dunsons are a family that. Yep.
Does he want Philip to join?
No, the invite is for you only. Yep, I'll take you back.
Without actually bringing it to the Conte's attention. That's one of the benefits of it. If you can, obviously,
Where are you?
if it's relatively successful and you can actually do it.
Yep, Renata eventually appears. Right. Philip gets a letter, which... Right, I need to open that one. Ooh, of course they won't be in order, will they? That's fine. So the events are never in order. You wake up, Philip, and you get a letter. Right, where are you? Oh, I see. You're going to make this the hard way, aren't you? Access. Ah, got it. It had done it. Excellent. That's a letter you get as you get up in the morning.
Sure, give me a sec.
Yeah, that'd be fine. Ah. And can I have Felix down to the private channel before we do this?
Yep.
You wake up and after a little while you get a call on your burn phone.
All right.
Numbers withheld.
Okay.
And a American accent voice says, "Good evening, Mr. Manticore. This is Mr. Moreno, the gentleman you talked to at the head of the greeting a few days ago. I would like a meeting with you tonight to chew the fat and discuss a few things. So I propose that you and I meet at 10 p.m. at the Hotel Zeta San Francisco on 5th Street in the bar, if you're agreeable."
Is that not a message? That is a person.
That's the person at the end.
Okay. Yeah. I take it this is the guy that I met.
Yeah, it's the...
Some each.
Yeah, it's a Smee.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
As long as I recognise the voice.
Yeah, it is. He had
and with my now new set of hearing, if I notice that there's anything electronic about it in the sense of being masked or different.
No, it's real.
Right. Happy to meet. Yeah.
Yep. I'll look forward to talking to you. And
excellent. Looking forward to it.
Yep. And he sort of says goodbye and disconnects.
Good. Okay. That saved me the bother.
Yeah. Right. I'll take you back to the main thing, and we'll and that's it. You all.
I'll try and get there a little bit earlier if I can.
Yeah. Depends how long. You might have to meet. You might have to miss the meeting.
Yes.
It depends how.
I'd try and get there sort of like 15 to 20 minutes earlier, just to see if I can observe where he comes from and how he does everything and etc.
Yep.
So yes, if I have to leave early to do that, that's what I'm going to do.
I see how long the discussion, and I'll say at a point that you need to go. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take you back.
Alright.
Okay, that's all the bits. Dante, you actually get up and you actually have a quiet evening for some reason. No more, was it unwanted phone calls? Or unmerited threats? Unwarranted threats. Right, and you're going to all meet at Dante's. Right. Are you all right? Once you're at Dante's, it's up to you what you want to discuss once you're all arrive.
Well, very interestingly, I've received a call from my speech friend, so I might have to leave this meeting early. I want to sort of get to the meeting point before he does. Just have a look at the area before I meet him. That's 10 o'clock, so I'll be leaving about probably half an hour. Enough time to get me there so I can spend a little bit of time, like I said, looking around.
Everybody's gone very quiet. What happened? Someone nicked it on? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
I was just wondering, you're all very quiet at the moment, was it? You're all thinking.
Oh, Andy, just a sort of a mechanics question.
Yep.
If I was to summon a Wraith, well, Spectre in the V5 book, would that be an ally's advantage or a retainer's advantage?
Ooh.
Or would I have to spend experience on this?
You would if you wanted to. If the Wraith is to be. Now it depends how you want to use the Wraith. If it's someone to help you and is willing, then it's probably an ally. As in the Wraith is there and willing to help you. Like if you're forcing to do it, that would be. Yeah, that would be as a retainer. It's ghouls, and that usually are only retainers because they are forced to do that, or they depend on that. So it depends how you want to do it. So if you want to do it friendly, ally. If you want to do it forcibly, there would be a retainer. I think that makes more sense.
Okay, well, see what happens with the Wave.
Yeah.
So I think I've talked with Dylan previously about going by Dante's morgue.
Yep.
I'm not sure which side of 1 AM are we.
So you're gonna sort of wander off to there to see if you can look at the other side into the underworld.
Oh, I am. With Binding Fetter, you don't even need to look at the Shadowlands. You just need to
find a fetter.
Yeah, so with morgue you would have personal effects and corpses,
Yes.
obviously fairly common.
And find someone who's been murdered. Yeah.
Well, not even murdered, it can be sickness, accident, just a dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Right?
That's most likely you find a feta and
I have an idea. It's not a nice idea.
We violently murder someone and use a murder
No.
weapon?
I've got some very sad news. Do you remember Priya?
Yeah.
Well, she has died in a car accident on the way to the airport. The taxi was hit by a drunk driver. Honestly, I'm still in shock about it, but she might help us. If you can find her.
I mean, do you know where she is? Well, her body is. Do you have anything of hers?
I'm just going to put this out there. What's the likelihood of the Marchese having something to do with that?
What's your mouth out, Dante?
I mean, it's a very, very fair point. She brought attention to it.
I won't believe that. Kia was my friend.
I know, I didn't know her well enough that she was your friend, but she brought attention to the Marchese in a negative way. You know the price of failure, and so does the Putanesca around the room. She failed. She did.
Did she mean to?
I don't know if it matters. I don't know if it matters that she didn't mean to. It just seems very fortunate that the inspector has gone away, and now
He hasn't yet.
I thought he was going back to Italy.
We are hoping he's going back to Italy, but he hasn't gone yet.
Well, I mean, he's just going to investigate her death now, isn't he?
Yeah, but it's going to look
rather
like it's going to be a drunk drive.
But there's some merit in what you're saying, because that ends his. Who's he going to contact here? He came here just to speak to her, and the Marchese. He's apparently, spoken to her.
My other point is, if the Marchese did have something to do with it, I'm not saying that he did, he could have. If we bring back her ghost.
Oh dear, that could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to like that very much. So
well, you don't have to tell him either, but
I prefer to not use Pia's ghost.
As I say, I was told this morning. This is news to me. I mean, maybe it was somebody. Maybe it was. Do you know what? I'm going to go full paranoid. Maybe it was Conte Charles, and maybe he did it just to point the finger at my uncle. I don't know.
that's certainly another option.
But here was my friend. I'm very sad.
Well, I'm sorry for your loss.
I wondered why everybody was quiet. Okay, is there anything else you want to do before you go your separate ways? Because you all got things to do tonight. Well, most of you have anyway.
The call that I got this morning.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you mean the dusk? Yeah.
Did you say it was Marino?
Yes. The
So
Marino.
he's not the Simic. He's the banker. Or the broker.
Mm.
How on earth did he get my number?
You talked to him. He was one of the persons you talked to. He was the other one.
Oh right, okay.
Now, of course, the New Yorker.
I thought that was the Smidge.
No, the Simic was the art gallery person.
Oh, I think we're talking about two different people.
Yeah, we are. He's that guy was the guy that gave certain information away about the Conte and his art gallery. But he's the guy that he's De Winters. That's the guy I thought I was meeting, but I'm not meeting him, am I?
No.
Right. So I'm meeting the broker instead. Oh, that's interesting. I definitely want to get there earlier.
Yeah, thought you would. Yeah. So you're going to go to the broker. Are you going to excuse yourselves?
Yeah, at the appropriate time. I might leave a bit earlier, even. To make sure I get there and have a bit of a look.
Right. Yeah. If you, it's easy to find a hotel. If you're there 10-20 minutes before. Yeah, he's not going to. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. We'll deal with you in a minute. What are the rest of you going to do for the evening?
I have the meeting that you sent a letter about, and I mean, look for a fetter if there's time.
Yeah, you're gonna...
I mean, I could wait around until you're ready to go to the morgue, so...
Yeah. Okay. So that'll be the last thing to do, is the visit to the morgue. That's for Dante and Philip, which will be after about 1 anyway, so it'll be early morning. In actual fact, it's probably the best time to visit it at that time, because it'd be the quietest. So that'd be fine. So, how the order to do this in? I'll do Renata first, then I'll do... Actually, no. I'll do Felix, Renata, and then was it her thing, so... I'll do Felix first. Right, oh dear. Oh, one of our dogs has just got stepped on. Oh dear. I'll just move everybody down. So bear with me, you other guys can have a talk while this is happening. Okay. Right, you arrive at the hotel early, and to be fine, he arrives 5 minutes early himself. It isn't the guy you think it is. It was the. He's the broker.
Yeah, the broker.
Yeah, he's a younger chap. Looks the part, blonde hair. He wasn't like the Winters as the one you talked to in Union Square. Who was a large chap with glasses, very happy face. It was the easiest way. Well, he didn't have a happy face at that point, to say the least.
Yeah.
He was one very worried. Hence why was it that has a lot more than he should have done. Yep. Right.
I will still arrange to meet him.
Yeah.
Because I think he was expecting me to call him next. So certainly I'll put in a call for a meeting for an hour or something like that. Just to see how he is.
Weird.
But yes, I'm quite surprised that this guy is actually. You sort of give your card out, thinking that no one will ever call you.
Oh yes. Yeah, but, yeah, he's not going to hide the fact he's there at all.
And there's definitely no one with him, even
No.
if they're not literally. Even if he doesn't know, is he being followed?
No, he isn't.
No, right, fine.
So, I think you gather like you, he's fairly new, so. Ooh.
Yeah.
So I was doing this.
I'm new because I've come out of the closet, but I've actually been around here probably for 2 or 3 years.
Let me be here. Oh, blimey. So as I have a dog who's, where have you been? You're wet. So they've been outside.
Okay. I've got 2 Cocker Spaniels, so I know how that feels.
Yeah, this is a Frisian, so she's a little pain. Right, yeah, if you go into the bar, don't get off, guys. Come on. He'll be waiting in the bar for you. He will stand up and as you go in and gesture, you join him in an empty booth. He'll put his hand. Good evening, Mr.
Hello
Manticore.
there, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm glad you could come to the meeting. Just wanted to.
I've got to say, I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, it's just a fat over. I basically just wanted to know what your business is in the city, with respect to the financial side.
I'm probably not nearly as well up on that side that you are, but I have a business which relates to boxing and martial arts clubs.
Ah, you're not the. How you say you're not a banker?
No. I might, shall we say, have some friends in that line, but I'm per se not a banker, definitely not.
Friends like a certain Philip Gunson.
I obviously know him. He was at the evening that that we got introduced.
Yes. He seems to be. Did you know he was in talks with the Hector? The incumbent Hector? Yeah.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
So it's not a surprise as far as you're concerned.
No.
You wouldn't have to know what he's doing for them, do you? He sort of smiles at this point.
No, he's not actually mentioned any of his businesses. I know he's a banker and I know he's a cutter, but I don't really know a lot else about his business or the type of, what his interests are or anything. We've only recently met a couple of months, something like that.
Ah. As you said, you sort of introduced yourself. I just wanted to know more why you were here and what you do. It's how you say.
Well, basically, like I said, and I'm interested in martial arts and particularly boxing as a means of people gaining not for just fighting. It's a discipline. It's about encouraging people to toughen up a little bit, but look inside themselves and also have some sort of aim in life. It's about keep fit. It's about sort of well-being as well. Even though you might be bashing the living daylights out of somebody, the point is that there's skill involved.
Your fighters are skilled.
Yeah, so.
Do you hire them out?
No, not as such. But basically, I've got several. Shall we say I noticed they were failing in the sense of their attendance, and I've been through them to sort of reinvigorate that element and provide a bit of, shall we say, investment. So actually most of them are doing reasonably well. And the idea is eventually when I've proved a business model of a sort, to actually roll it out a little bit further and a bit wider.
So
but it's because I've got an interest. It is a business, and I've got people that help me run it as a business, but I'm more interested in the actual philosophy of it, the physicality of it, as well as the philosophy of it, and the fact that it can benefit people. I think it's something I've been interested in for a very long time.
Unusual, but what I'm trying to crudely put is, if you could, provide heavies if needed? I understand that even our business is cut and thrust at times, and he smiles, especially for what we are.
Yeah, it's not something I've never looked at, providing mercenaries of.
I see. So I'm really talking to the wrong person.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, if you could point me in the right direction, it would be greatly appreciated, if you understand. I don't think we have any common, business here? He gets up.
Probably not, no.
Well, it has been, he sort of puts his hand out, it has been nice talking to you, is it, Mr. Manticore? And I hope we meet again.
Yeah, hopefully. I'll think on what you've asked, and I will be discreet. If anything occurs to me, I'll let you know.
Thank you very much. And if you need any help with the finance, I'll do the same for you.
Okay, that might be very interesting.
Indeed, you have my card. Good night.
Well, yeah, I've got his card.
Yeah.
That's fine. Thank you.
Good evening, Mr. Manticore, and sort of walks out.
Okay. Very abrupt, but yes, fine.
You know,
I never even thought about being into that line of business, to be honest.
No.
I'm most intrigued about what you might actually need them for.
Yeah.
But he didn't actually want to stay around, really.
No, as he said, you gathered what he was after. He was sort of sussing out who you were, and if you were, actually, to put it bluntly, if you were useful to him. I'll take you back to the other thing. You can have a word with the other guys, and I'll get the next one over. I think it's Renata.
Fine.
Yeah. Right.
For instance,
it's Renata's turn for the little talk, if I remember rightly. Yeah, you're all going to die. Not. Right, I'll take you down to there and we'll do that. Right, you appear at the club at the specified time. Are you going to arrive there on in time?
She'll probably arrive about 10 minutes early. Who's it I'm meeting?
Ewan Dunson. If you go to the characters, he will be under the Hecator. Pardon me, you'll be under the Hecator. And he'll be at the top, the gentleman in the grey suit. Remember, meet one of the 144 chambers of the clan Hecator. 1144. He's basically a member of the ruling council. big honcho. So
Big Baron is a member of the... What's the 1444 house?
It's basically a group of very elite. Was it Hector? They was it sort of.
Is Uncle Marco in that?
No. He hasn't even got anywhere near the High Council yet. So no, he isn't. You arrive 10 minutes early, and you are sort of asked to sit for a little bit by the guy at the reception. After about 5 minutes, they come out, and you are sort of guided to a room where you find a gentleman in a grey suit, which you assume is, well, you were introduced as Ewan Dunson by the Marchese at the gathering, and you also see Silverna Lanza. As you let in, he says, "Good evening, Miss Filate. Glad you could come to the meeting. I believe you've already met, is it Silvina Lanza? Please sit so we can get down to business." Yeah, he speaks.
What's her expression when I walk into the room? Is she pissed off? Is she
She seems to be no expression at all. Passive, basically. Now, I bet you are both wondering why I have called this meeting, but we have some serious clan business to discuss. I have summoned the both of you here because you two are the heads of the two main Hecata Tocati in San Francisco. So we may have a wolf among us in the city in a certain form of Giancarlo Giovanni, who I believe you met during the Marchese's little gathering. Giancarlo Giovanni is a potential troublemaker within the Hecata. He is a member of a group of Giovanni who would like total control of the clan, much as the days of the clan Giovanni. Now I will say now those days have gone, and the Giovanni are now part of the Hecata, much as is my family. We, the elders of the Hecata, do not look favourably on anybody who supports these Giovanni. Their actions threaten the stability of the Hecata. I know you are both Giovanni, and I will point out I have no personal issues. I have no personal issues with that. But if I find out that you have joined the Giovanni rebels, or any of your, coterie, I will have to do something about you. I would emphasize that we all, including the Giovanni, are now part of the Hecata, and it will stay that way. Saying that, if Giancarlo Giovanni does talk to you and moot his ideas to you, we, the elders of the Hecata, would like to know what is said. Basically, I want evidence of his actions, and you could help us by gathering that evidence, and we would be extremely grateful if you did. I think you understand what I am saying. And Savina nods.
Yeah, I will nod as well.
Good. I think we have an understanding. As is said, to me, the importance of the unity of the clan comes first. Anything that threatens it, I will do something about it. I think you understand me totally. It does mean I will be staying around here a little longer than I wanted, but once this has been sorted, I will leave. I think that's all I need to say. I will thank you for coming, and I will be leaving the city in the next few days. No, as I said, I'll be leaving in a little later. I will give you a PO box so you can, report any findings to me. I will always listen to them. I hope the rest of your evening goes well. That's no problem. Good evening, ladies. You are free to go now. and he expects you to go.
Is he like wanting us to shake hands, or is he just
No.
going back? He's doing the Uncle Marcos thing.
Yes.
Okay. Renata knows when she needs to leave the room.
So does Savina. She sort of walked out and looks at you and said,
Not let her go first.
Yeah, she sort of looks. Oh, thank you for the handbag.
Oh, I'm glad you like it.
I assume that's an apology for your behaviour.
Indeed, I'm in a new city, as I say. It's difficult to know who to trust.
It's like you are like your uncle, was it? Know when you're in the wrong. Sort of smiles and walks off.
Okay.
Yep. Okay, we'll go and we've got one more to do. Yes, we do. Actually, we've got something else to do before that. Right, I'll take you back to the other one. It's all a bit bitty at this time, but it will be because you know what vampires like. Okay, I'll take you back to the main one.
The interesting thing there is a threat level.
Yeah,
In terms of how he seems a bit of a strange thing. I suppose he was trying just to see whether. To be honest, if I'd have thought quick enough, I would have said maybe I could, but I was a bit. It's not something I'm into, so I couldn't bluff my way through that one. I didn't think fast enough.
Yeah. Your phone rings. Was it Felix?
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do this separately, or was it
Well, I'll take the call. Just.
It's from. Oh, no, you don't get a call. Sorry. A little early. Do you? Yes, you get a call. And basically, it's from just to let you know that the comedy Charles and ourselves have been summoned to appear before the prince. I thought you needed to know. And then rings off.
Okay. So who? Do I recognise the voice that was speaking?
Yeah, you spoke to the gentleman in the square, Union Square.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, very interesting. Oh, okay. I will ring him back later, probably in about an hour's time, because I wanted to arrange a meeting with him anyway.
Yeah.
But then I'll just tell everybody that our guy, De Winters, the Conte and him are going before the prince. And then he rang off. So I don't know, I can't tell you much more.
For the prince. And I think one more meeting, then we'll call it an evening, and then we'll do the rest.
Interesting enough, he said prince, not warlord.
Yes, he said prince. It was done.
Sorry, who's going before the prince with
De Conte. He didn't say.
It said
the guy's the Samich, that he's the art dealer friend. That he. De Conte is his sponsor. His what the term is. Where is
not sponsor. He's was it they're the same coterie.
Yeah, he's basically helping him.
Conte's coterie are going before the prince for some reason.
Well, you just said him and the Conte. He didn't actually say the rest of them. just said, we're going before the prince, him and me, sort of thing. But he didn't.
Oh, this is about to get real.
While you're doing this, Philip will have to disappear, so I'll take Philip down to the thing, and you can discuss what's just happened. Yeah. Right, there's your meeting with Miss Lanza, isn't there?
Yeah,
Yes.
the City Club, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah. Why am I not? Ah, that's why. That's it. Yeah. You arrive at the City Club, and do you arrive early or do you arrive? Was it on time?
As per usual, 5 minutes early.
Yeah. Yeah. This time, they take you to a room, and inside is sitting. Actually, all the Hector, including Savina, Christina, and the one that was you didn't meet to talk to, Raymond. And Savina gets up and sort of greets you.
Sorry, Andy, just to clarify, is this all the Hector?
This is the 3 incumbent Hector, the only 3 you've ever seen.
Ah, got you. Sorry, push to talk.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, these are the 3 you saw at the meeting. The ones that had the disagreement. You had the discussion only with Savina to do with your business arrangements with. So now you've been sort of introduced to the rest of them, basically. And she basically gets up. Good evening, was it Philip? Let me introduce, was it Christina and Romano? These are the rest of the family here. I thought it's better that we introduced them to you, so at least you know who you're dealing with. Please sit, so we can discuss business. Yeah, I've already spoken to you and done this tonight about yourself. He's saying you were a bit of a maverick, but in a good way. He sort of recommended you, as in you are good at what you do. So, we are going to, how you say, you understand we don't totally trust you at the moment?
I completely understand.
Yes, so what we aim to do is give you access to a small part of our operation to see how you deal with it. In other words, if everything goes right, we will give you all the information you need, as in we'll give you more. Does that seem fair as far as you're concerned?
Sounds fairly above board. Do you have a portfolio here?
We have. She puts a hand onto a brown envelope. All the information you need is here. What we're going to do is give you our dealings. Some of the dealings of our money laundering operations in LA. In this folder will be all the bank accounts. What we want you to do is, how are we saying, move it to San Francisco. Put all the links into place. So the money starts to come through the banks in San Francisco while than the ones in LA. Means we would have more control over it. Do you understand?
Yes. Sorry, question for the storyteller. Should I do a check of some kind to see how easy this would actually be? I'm just thinking of like a deadline.
No, they haven't given you a deadline. No.
Got you.
If all the information is there, it should be an easy process. It literally is just moving bank accounts across. and informing the right people of all the new new bank accounts. Basically it's just changing bank accounts over and ways of doing it. With money laundering, it's a matter of
layering is the usual.
Yeah, basically you clean the money up and then put it into a bank, so you do it through other ways of doing it. It's a bit more than dealing with banks, it's also dealing with companies, retail outlets, etc. It's a bit more than that.
Yeah, the obvious example would be cleaning cash for a car wash or a nightclub.
That's it, that will be a lot of what it is. So a lot of the information you assume would be in the folder would be bank account and basically where it's being laundered at the moment. And it looks like you probably would, as a character, would have to figure out what are the best clubs to do this through and the best car washes. So it's a little research on your part, but you'll be given where it's going through now. It's just changing it from where it's now to doing it through San Francisco, basically, which includes also finding a way to transfer the money physically, because it will be in the form of cash. Is that all the questions you wanted to ask?
That's all the questions the player has.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, I'll think of something.
Yeah. Right, she then looks and said, these are all the information you need. It will give you the bank accounts we use at the moment and like transferred, the places where the money is cleaned. We would like those moved to San Francisco, e.g. it's cleaned away in another city. You will have to find a way to transfer the cash across country safely. As I said, we'll leave it in your hands as long as you can do it in a reasonable time. We'll once you've done it, come back to us.
Well, I should be able to do this.
Very good.
Sorry, Andy, what did she say?
Yeah, I've forgotten now, sis. Yeah, that'll be fine. Good to hear.
Oh, well then. I suppose Philip goes to shake her hand if she doesn't have anything else to say.
No. Says, I hope things go well, Mr. Dunson. Ewan, speaks highly of you. And I'll be so disappointed if you were to fall.
Well, I'm probably one of the best people on the West Coast, to be frank.
Good. Let's hope that things go well for you. Good evening, Mr. Dunson.
Good evening, Miss Dunson.
And she sort of smiles and you leave.
Yep.
Right, I think that's going to be... Yeah, I was thinking that was the best way of doing it. They're not going to give you the whole visual at the start. They're going to test you first. See if, one, you can do it, two, you don't cock up, sort of thing. So a lot of that will be done in the background. What I might do is read up on the what's it called, the rules to do with that. It will be a series of roles, as in
sure thing. Would it be easier if I describe the sort of stuff you do?
Yep, describe what you want to do, then what I'll do is work out a difficulty, then it'll be a role that will sort of do every day as in the start of the day, and basically that will just work out how much the progress is. It's what do I call it? It's the one set of rules where they give so many options. I'll just choose the most appropriate. Extended roles,
Extended roles, yeah.
Yeah, they give so much different options. I'll find the best one for this. I might use a version of the simple one. Basically, you've got to get a certain number of successes, over a period of time, and that will determine how long it takes you to do, sort of thing. And if there's any fumbles, then we'll see what happens at that point. Okay, so if you just write that down, and we'll work that out, and wish you luck. Okay, I'll take you back to the guys on the main one.
Another cage until we've dealt with this one.
No, well.
Yeah.
Right, as we've got bits and pieces to do to the end of this evening, if I remember that Dante and Philip want to go into the morgue and go ghost hunting for fetters. Who's doing that? Felix wants to go and talk to, was it the guy that sort of said
the Winters?
Winters.
But that, I think that will be later, because if he's going to the Prince, then I probably wouldn't be able to get anything out of him tonight. So it'll have to be another evening. But it's interesting that he called me, so I'm quite interested to make, even if I put just a message on his phone tonight to say, I'm more than happy to meet you, just let me know where and when, sort of thing, then I'll leave it at that, and we'll just see whether he gets back to me.
So we'll call, leaves a message. I don't think anybody else was going to do anything later in the night. Renata hasn't got any plans other than what's in the background, doesn't she? I think that will be the end of the game for tonight, because Dylan has to sort of stop at this point. It's 10 o'clock. Right, so what I'll do is I'll stop the recording. Stop.